Welcome to Deal Tech 101, aka Black Mantle, as we discuss information technology, also known as IT. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the surveillance society, balancing security and privacy in the age of big data. So, how many of you out there know a lot about big data and privacy? So, what we have, people, is when we're thinking about the importance of security and privacy, there are many different things that we can look at and really break this down, but I want to be direct and straight to the point with it because we need this in today's society. But we definitely need effective security measures to protect individuals, people. We need that. And society as a whole from potential threats. How many of you remember as far back, we're going to go to the year 2000 to 2001. People had phones, but we wasn't necessarily walking around taking pictures with our devices. But most of us would have camcorders, cameras, and things like that. Take the pictures and get them processed at a Walgreens or somewhere, or Walmart, and get the picture to take a couple of days. But we have gotten so comfortable that we have given up a lot of the convenience or wanting more of the convenience in order to get more out of it and reduce the amount of privacy that we actually care about. So now when you fast forward 23 years, 22 years later, we have cameras on the back of our mobile devices in the back of our phones. And when we have this, the thin line between your effective, security measures and convenience and privacy are soon to be able to overlap one another. So in what ways could we preserve the privacy rights and personal freedoms of individuals who have to go through this, which all of us are? At any point in time, we're being recorded at some point, no matter where we go. Whether you're going into a McDonald's to enjoy your free cup of coffee, or you're going to a really nice restaurant, there are cameras to protect the business, which are recording at all times. But at the same token, if something happens, you're within that video and not even knowing it. So when whoever has access to that, we want to hope that they are being ethical and being responsible with the data that they are keeping, even from our smartphones themselves. The way that we interact with different applications and things like that on there, the people that are behind the scenes in the IT field, and I'm speaking from experience because I'm in the IT field and I know what it's like, but me personally, I try to make sure that I practice privacy and data all the time. If it's something that I'm thinking that may pop up that I should not see, I call it out, and I make sure to call it out to the people that I deal with and work with to ensure that I protect not only myself, but to also protect other people. When you're looking at the ethical implications, that's what that is about, is when people have access to this information, are they doing what's right at all the time, 24/7, 365 until the day they die? That's just being completely 100% transparent in terms of civil liberties. Now, on the other side, you have government surveillance that is beyond IT. And what government surveillance is that we have to examine the controversies and the debates around different types of surveillance programs that may be used in the government programs, such as like national security, to protect any threats that may come into this country, and even to the National Security Agency. But we could risk potential abuse of people violating or being in violations of privacy rights. And I have a whole book on privacy rights that I read from time to time, and it's amazing, people, the things out there that a lot of the general population doesn't know about in terms of government surveillance. Now, we're not talking about, James Bond type stuff or just somebody spying you to be spying on you. But in any event that you are just going through public, the different types of government surveillance is if the cameras are recording and when they are recording, How is the information being used? Where is it stored? Who has access to it? Who has rights to it? And things like that. Those are the things that we should be concerned about. Then you also have the corporate data collection as well. And corporate data collections is those apps that you sign up for. When you're signing up for those apps and inputting your name, email address, birthday, we haven't even gotten to social security number yet. But putting in pertinent information like that, you have to ask yourself, who has access to this information? Now, while DLP, data loss prevention, may prevent people from sending this out through email systems such as Gmail and O365 or Outlook, it's not a one-stop shop. It takes a group of people to be able to go through the information who are very ethical. Because it's a lot in IT, people. I can tell you from personal experience, it is a lot. And it takes a lot out of you to do what's right. When you have the right people trying to do these type of jobs, trying to protect people's information and has people's best interests at heart, truly and dearly in their heart, you know that that person is meant to be in that particular field. Because corporations are definitely targeted for data breaches, targeted advertising when they start sending things to your phone, and potential data breaches, as I just said a minute ago. When data breaches happen, you don't even know the same day. Where they're supposed to be, about a 72-hour notice from the time that the data breach occurs to actually letting the consumers know. Oftentimes you'll get little small letters from companies, little small letters from companies that show up, and they'll say a data breach happened months ago. So now your social security number is somewhere out there in the world that you don't know. And they're saying they're going to pay for data, or they're going to pay for monitoring of your credit and your social security number at some point in time. So then a year has already gone by. But overall, looking at the transparency and oversight, it's very important that when these things happen, who is being held accountable? What are the legal ramifications and legal frameworks in the surveillance practices behind the scenes? And having effective mechanisms to keep these systems safe. Because it's beyond just one person, it's beyond people in general, but there has to be clear-cut regulations if somebody does something wrong. Here, reprimand is to happen to that person or persons that is responsible. All it is, people, just checks and balances to protect individual rights. So those key points, those 5 key points with the importance of security and privacy and the ethical implications and the government surveillance and the corporate data collections and the transparency and oversight are all important parts of big data, ensuring that we are being very delicate about the balance between security and privacy in the digital age. Like, listen, and subscribe. DevTech 101, aka Black Mantle. Look forward to bringing more content to you soon.